This all works.
Dun, da, da.
Hey, we still sound better than Oshkosh.
That was good, Pat.
Thank you.
Actually, that was really good.
There's a hula hoop contest going on.
Am I better?
Or any of us.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. We are live on location at the studios of WFHR and WIRI in beautiful Wisconsin Rapids. It is Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
That's right. The Camel has made it all the way here to central Wisconsin in Wisconsin Rapids. Welcome, everybody. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, back at the world headquarters of Civic Media in downtown Madison. Zommers, I'm not sure what it's like back home, but here in Rapids, it is a party, overcast skies. We had a little rain on the way up here, coming up on the interstate, but that has since cleared up. It is a beautiful day. We got the music of WIRI in the background, some country music. I've got news director Melissa Kay sitting next to me. Melissa, how the heck are you?
I'm great. How are you, Todd?
I couldn't be better. I can't thank you enough for inviting us up here today. This is great. It's just we're the second time we've done the show here.
It is.
And why don't we bring in our co-anchors for the hour here this afternoon? He was with us last year at this very spot. He is originally from the River Falls area, graduate of UW Eau Claire, now a senior advisor with the Lincoln Project in Washington, D.C. Trygve Olsen, much, much warmer than when we were here late October of last year. But now we can't hear you.
But
It
now,
looks
of
like
course,
he accidentally muted himself.
Trygve muted himself, which is a rarity.
we told him to turn his volume up, and the rebel that he is.
All right. Well, until he gets that figured out, our host,
I'm unmuted now. I'm back. I'm
Welcome,
heating
Trygve.
up. I need to get my battery-powered stuff out like I was wearing last time I was in
I know.
Rapids.
Reed Galen, president of the union, and I were traveling with Trygve, and we were sitting here freezing. Poor Melissa was in a snowsuit, being the human anchor for our canopy tent because it was so windy and
Trying to
terrible.
blow away.
And Trygve's over there like in a turtleneck because he bought himself a $200 battery-operated vest. And we're
No,
like,
it wasn't $200. Honestly, I've had that thing for a long time. I used to deer hunt near Rapids, and if you're going to go deer hunting, you got to have battery-powered stuff to
It's
keep you
smart.
warm. Because
Yeah, you do. But
who
it's
wants to be freezing?
No, nobody wants to be freezing. And speaking
Right.
of being warmed up and ready to go, he was on the mound from 6 until 9 this morning, throwing heater after heater. And now he's all the way back to Lake Wissota, joining us from his studios there, the one, the only, Mr. Pat Kreitlow. Patrick, how are you?
That place looks so much nicer now with the sun up as opposed to, pre 6 a.m. in the dark where I worried people might think I was an intruder there at the WFHR studios. But I got there. The crew there could not have been more hospitable. They rolled out the red carpet as if I were Vladimir Putin in Alaska.
Oh, my goodness.
I
Is that what we did?
He's warmed up.
No, it was they were wonderful, and I'm sorry to be missing the party, but I am happy as always to be your warm-up act for the real kegger just now getting underway.
No, that's not true at all. I'm just here for cleanup duty. That's what I'm here for. But you can, for those watching on the stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and the like, you can see right over my shoulder, right over there, is the authentic Mexican food truck. Let me tell you, I had a carnita street taco along with my Mexican Coke here.
Ooh, in a glass bottle.
In a
even.
glass bottle. Melissa, that's where I'm not just making this up. That was one of the best tacos I've ever had, and I've had a lot of them.
That's why I invited them. El Salvador. They make fantastic food. I had a tortas that was just yum.
It was great. Well, there's always a reason for a party, and all of us, Pat, Trigby, and I, we love a good party. But tell folks the real reason that we're here. You guys have a big, big anniversary.
We are gearing up for our 85th anniversary in November, so we're kicking it off with the parking lot party because we want to appreciate our listeners while it's warm out.
Right.
And we've invited a lot of, as many of our nonprofit groups in the city as we could invite down here. We've got the Family Center, we've got ADRC, ODC, all of the acronyms, the Humane Society, the VFW. We also have a couple businesses that are a little newer in town that we invited to come down to hopefully bring the kids out. Edge VR is here, and then Evolution Throwing. So if you wanted, did you try the axe throwing
Not yet. There's axe throwing guys here. There's axe throwing today.
And then we also have Sarah's Sweet Trucks is here. Peeps just pulled up. They got Chicago hot dogs.
Oh. Well, we don't want a Chicago hot dog. Well, I should say that. We don't want to celebrate the Cubs today.
Okay, sorry, my bad. They also have brats and,
brats,
and,
right.
and hamburgers and, all the good stuff. So many delicious things. And the dessert taste test inside, did you get in there?
I did, guys. There's the staff here. Everybody made different desserts, and there's a table. You can go around. Anybody can come in. If you're in the Rapids area, come on down to WFHR, WIRI Studios. You could do a sweet dessert tasting, and then you vote for your favorite one.
Yeah.
Should I say what my vote was?
Yeah, I want to hear.
Was it the grasshopper or the mint?
Mint dirt cup?
The dirt cup. That was very good.
Yeah, they're good. We also have like a banana chocolate chip craisin cookie.
That was also very good.
There's what was it? A
There was
cinnamon toast crunch cheesecake.
Yep. Chocolate covered fruit.
Yep, chocolate covered blueberry with some dried strawberry sprinkles on it, and a rhubarb juice.
That was awesome. I mean, I had a tough time, but I'm a sucker for mint, so I guess that's why I went with that.
Man, you got the good stuff out there.
I know.
I mean,
you should have stuck around.
I got half of a dated glazer with some purse dirt that Laura pulled out of a bag.
Sorry about that.
We tried.
No, it was great.
It was.
We chilled the water for you.
Yes.
Gee, you gave Pat chilled water. Is that his thing? Did he send a request in? Like some stars want like only red M&Ms.
Nope.
Pat had to have chilled water.
Oh yeah, I'm real demanding that way. You can tell what a high class operation this is.
Like he was
I
on
think
television.
they still talk
for God's
about that at WEAU. Pat always wanted his ice in his water.
Guys, I mean, you both have been here before today, of course. Trigby, you said you hunted over here. I know, Pat, you've been in the area. But, I mean, one of the things that really strikes me about this station is the focus on community and also just the variety of groups as Melissa ran through them. You have the VFW folks here sitting right next to an ecumenical church group that has a pride flag that says, "We accept and love everyone," with axe throwing, with Mexican food. I mean, I think it's, as Terry Barr would say, it's a slice of Wisconsin showing how diverse Wisconsin is. But at the end of the day, if we focus on community, we can all get along, Pat.
Yeah, yes, and Melissa was wonderful this morning talking about that the similarities between Wisconsin Rapids and Eau Claire, where the big, industry in town, really downsizes or closes up, and then you have to essentially reinvent the local economy. Mm-hmm. They've risen to the challenge out there and have come out, stronger for it, more diverse, not just in their population, but in their employment opportunities. Melissa, you talked a bit about, the technical college education that people are getting there for all the various trades. Yes. And making sure that Wisconsin Rapids doesn't just, wither there on the river.
Mm-hmm. No, our technical college here is doing a great job. Mid-State Technical College, we've got branches in a lot of our outlying areas as well. Marshfield's got one, even as far out as almost to Abbotsford they have, and then of course in Plover and Stevens Point, Wausau, and then the Ameta Center that they just built, that just opened within this last year, is an amazing hands-on opportunity for them to do some of the bigger, like the welding and the technical jobs that we need. We need people in those positions, and you can get that career opportunity with the technical education. You don't have to go to a 4-year college.
Right. Trevi, give us a minute here. Give us your thoughts on the Wisconsin Rapids and the area, just from our trip here last year. But as you said, you spend time here deer hunting as well.
Well, if I only talk about Wisconsin Rapids when I was deer hunting there last year, I'd just say how cold it is. But Wisconsin Rapids, I've been there in the summer too, Todd.
Okay.
It's not like I haven't ever been to Rapids when the weather is good. Like it's like all of central Wisconsin when the weather's bad, not necessarily the greatest place to be, but Wisconsin Rapids is a fantastic town in the summer. And in fact, they have a great summer festival in Wisconsin Rapids. I might have once drank at a beer tent in Wisconsin Rapids. I know that's shocking.
I know. Very shocking. No, it's just
a great town.
Yeah, it really is. Melissa, tell us a little bit more for those that might not be familiar. If you don't live in the central part of Wisconsin, you can listen to WFHR and WIRI on the Civic Media app anytime. Tell us a little bit about the programming of both the stations.
Well, we have our morning shows on both stations. On the country station, 105.5 FM, WIRI, we have a morning show from 7 to 9, and then a morning show on WFHR from 9 to 11. And then we have what we've now kind of we've changed it to become the Rapids Report. It was our midday magazine, but now it's just in podcast form, but that's where our listeners are. So the Rapids Report is where a lot of these nonprofit groups that are here today come and update us on what programs they're working on or what they're doing. The mayor comes, actually the mayor was in this morning and gave an update on the city. And then, we also have great music programs. We've got voices. Katie Cruz is here today. Did you meet her?
Yeah, just briefly, yeah.
Yeah, she's on does voiceover, voice tracking on WIRI. Seth and Laura and Beth all have shows that they do, trail tunes, and Burn Before Listening is one I think you would really appreciate.
Burn Before Listening. All right.
Yeah. Laura's got that one. And then Red Folk and Blue. So we're doing a lot. I'm hoping to bring back community stories at some point, but we gotta work out some kinks and.
I was talking with James earlier. I think he was kind enough to have me on. And again, I think you all, like so many of our stations across Wisconsin, you focus on community.
Yes.
These community organizations out here that are doing good for Rapids and the surrounding area. You're covering the school board. You're covering the high school sports. You're bringing people together.
That's one of the big things, too, I didn't mention is the high school sports. We have a lot of, and we also have our local Rafters and our River Kings. So those are, I'm sorry, I'm not a sports person, but those are not major leagues, but
right.
Whatever that other
Yeah, no,
level
it's
of
pro stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yay,
it's
sports.
Great. Yay, sports. Woo. But yeah, that we focus on that a lot and bringing community and our listeners. We wouldn't be here for 85 years without all our listeners. Yeah. And that dessert cook-off that we were talking, or sweet off, is kind of also playing into what we're planning for our 85th anniversary, which is a cookbook.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Wow.
we're putting together an
All
85th
right.
anniversary cookbook because that is something that we used to do. And the most recent one for the 50th anniversary, Milt Steele, who was here earlier and
Met him, yeah.
Yep. He was our celebrity judge, and he was on the cover of the 50th anniversary
Really?
one. Yep.
Well, that's fantastic. I just think it's a great community station. You guys, Pat and Trigby, have both been here, and Trigby, you remember last year we were in the same spot in the parking lot. I think you and Reed were just really impressed with the amount of community people that were stopping by to give lost and found notices, to bring in food. This station is really a part of this community, Trigby.
I think I said it then. It's like it's one of the things. It's the kind of thing that makes towns like Wisconsin Rapids great. It's like the high schools in all these places, right? Like it's a sense of community that you just don't find in other places. Yeah. Also, Todd, I want a copy of the cookbook.
Okay, sounds good. Stay tuned. We'll come back with more on the other side with Pat Kreitlow, Trigby. Also, we're live at WFHR in Wisconsin Rapids, across Wisconsin, on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm guessing we'll have a good meatloaf recipe. I need a good meatloaf recipe.
Oh, you know what?
I'm not making that up either.
I was cleaning, and one of the cookbooks was propped up, and it blew open to liver dumpling soup. That was
Really?
Yeah,
Liver
that was
dumpling soup.
I wouldn't be doing
an
that.
old version, so no.
All right, cool. Thank you.
right.
You're welcome to stick around. We're going to do a little politics next.
Okay, I'm going to jump out because I got to make sure everything's set here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I am so glad that we've proven that I'm not the only one that sometimes will still go to break a little bit early. Thank you, Todd Allbaugh. I feel vindicated. Parker Olson, if you're listening, it's not just the morning host who can do that now and then. It's Mr. Allbaugh, whose head is in his hands right now, but he's only human like the rest of us. And that's why I love this man. If he can recover from the embarrassment, he will be back after this break. This is the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Look at that. That is the consummate pro coming out of the bullpen. Just boom.
No, because Zommers, did you
That's
start
like-
playing the
my
that's
music?
the kind
That
of
was
bullpen.
entirely
That's
my
the kind
fault.
of bullpen you need to win World Series championships.
Yep. No,
Not
that
like
was
the
entirely
Brewers
my fault.
bullpen. That's like Rick Aguilera or Jeff Reardon stepping out on the mound and shutting them down.
I don't have their facial hair, but I will. That's more.
I'm like, did the clocks get changed again?
Yeah.
No, I just defaulted back to the old one for some reason.
See,
'cause it
it's
used to end
not
at 19.
just me. I did that. I did that on Monday.
He's
I
throwing the
believe.
manager under the bus, Pat. That ain't how you win championships. Oh,
You're right. I
that's
screwed
what
up.
that's what puts you in AmFan Field or U.S. Bank Stadium, where you just don't have those titles.
Wow, Trigby.
No worries, Mr. Zommers. I've done it. I still have my Post-it note right here, and I still have done it. So, not a worry.
Hey, Pat, what do you think of the Twins tearing their team apart?
And then the Polad family, after doing it, goes, "Oh, I guess we're going to keep the team after all."
I know.
Now that
Can
we've
you
managed to
believe it?
save a bunch of bucks. I mean, talk about a team that went from looking like the saviors when they bought the team from Cal Griffith to they look so much worse than Cal Griffith now.
You know what? It's the kids, right? Like, I think Carl Polad, for the most part,
Yeah.
did a pretty good job.
It's always
He
the
won
kids.
those 2 World Series, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
always the kids. It's going to be like that in Dallas when Jerry Jones kicks the bucket, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it kind of already is.
Or, President Donald Trump Jr. It's going to be just, I mean, if you think it's bad now, wait till he passes the title down to Trump Jr.
It will be dogs and cats hugging in the streets.
Yeah.
Real biblical revelations kind of stuff.
Yikes.
Is my mic better?
Yes,
Zommers?
it's better, thank you.
So, hey, Zommers, you want to know why it wasn't working?
Why?
Because I had 7 different versions. I was operating 7 firmwares back. I never
That'll do it.
updated the firmware.
All right, we got about 20 seconds. Here we go.
Sorry, Aaron.
Woke up this morning with light in my eyes and then realized it was still dark outside. It was a light coming down from the sky. I don't know who or why.
Welcome
Must
back
be
to the
those
Allbaugh Show. We are
strangers
live on
coming
location here at WFHR, WIRI in beautiful Wisconsin Rapids. It is a parking lot party now until 6 o'clock. If you are in the area, or hey, maybe you want to do something this afternoon, get in your car. It's a lovely drive here to central Wisconsin. Stop by. We have great food trucks. As I said, I stopped by the taco truck, and honest to God, one of the best street tacos I've ever had. A little Mexican Coke as well. We've got desserts here. We've got might sample the elephant ears, all kinds of great stuff here behind us. And we have some great community organizations as well, joined by Pat Kreitlow of host of Host of Mornings, powered by Up North News Radio every morning from 6 until 9. Joins us. He was here earlier. He's already back in his studios in Lake Wissota in the Chippewa Valley. And Trygve Olsen, senior advisor at the Lincoln Project, which joins us from the outer suburbs of the occupied region, better known as Washington, D.C. these days. Glad to have you along. And here at the table, honored to have one of the great hosts of WFHR, WIRI, here in central Wisconsin, James Maloff. He is here at the table. James, how in the heck are you?
I'm doing all right. My eyes started to water as soon as I came outside, though. Oh, man, I don't know what happened. I got all emotional, I guess.
It happens to us around Todd, too. Don't worry about it. It's
When you're with the most popular man in Wisconsin from 3 to 5 every day, I can, or 2 to 4 every day, I can see how that would happen.
You see what I have to put up with
Lots
here,
of people
James?
get
Yeah.
emotional. It's
Yeah.
like meeting Taylor Swift if you're a Swift.
It's tough. It's tough. It's, I already got emotional earlier, and I thought I'd be okay this second time. But no, all over again, it hits me. I don't know. This weather, I'm telling
It's
you.
always
I know.
it's nice for him to get a taste of his own medicine because that's what people in Rapids, they come to the station, James is going to interview them. First there's some genuflecting and then the show goes on.
It's great.
Wow.
So good.
These guys. For those that haven't heard you before, James, in other parts of the state, tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you got into radio and here at IRI FHR.
I am a fib. I was born and raised in Illinois. Moved around a lot as a kid. I had 10 different addresses before I was 10, and ended up. I was a knucklehead as a kid. I'll say it that way, and got kind of sent up here to Wisconsin to kind of straighten out, and I did, oddly enough. But this area has given me and my family a second act, a second home. I've really appreciated this area. I spent a lot of time my high school years here kind of grumbling about being in a small town and everything and some of that. When I moved out to California and I came back, I had an appreciation of this area. And I never thought I'd get back into radio, and Bob Look gave me a job. I was just going to run sports. I was just going to produce those and everything. I never thought I'd be talking on the air again or anything. In the time of doing that, we had some losses around here with Carl and some others, and it was kind of next man up. And I was the last man standing. So somebody had to keep the station afloat. Somebody had to keep things going. And so I would, there were times, years there where I would be on the air from 6 until 1, usually just nonstop doing shows, just making sure that we were still on the air. We were still able to keep things afloat. And the hope was during all of that time, okay, one day there's going to be an owner that comes around. There's going to be a business that comes around. They're going to pick up this station, and it's going to be in good hands. We were fortunate to have Heart of Wisconsin Media buy us for a little while there, put us in these new digs, and invest in us. And because of that investment, I think we were seen by Civic Media as a possibility. And I know that talking to Sage about this in those early days, it was very important to him to have a central station, a station in the middle of the state. And for him, well, you could talk to Sage more about this off air, but he wasn't going to take no for an answer. He wanted this particular station, and a big part of what he wanted was Pam, Chuck, myself, and a lot of that. And just saying it out loud humbles me in thinking about it. This area, I've had all three of my kids are born in this city. My brother was born here. Being able to do this job and give back to this area that has given me and my family so much, it's one of the more humbling things I'll ever experience. I hope I didn't ramble too much there. I feel like I already did that earlier to Pat. I'm not used to being on this side of things.
Right.
It's a little almost uncomfortable.
Go ahead, Pat.
I was just going to say, I got a lot of feedback on that going, he was really good. That was one of our best segments, which was their way of saying, at what point can he replace you? But I was very thankful to have him there. So, no, thank you, James. I think it's great that people continue to hear the stories of local radio and the importance of it, but also that it can be a little ragtag behind the scenes sometimes. But, that's part of the magic in the end.
One of the things that I appreciate about modern radio and the free-form nature of it and everything is when we share these, most people, I don't think in general, especially people in radio, necessarily want to talk about themselves. But when we do share these stories, we find that we connect with our audience that much more. It's one of those things, I'm a pretty private person, and it took me a while to push through that. And the way I look at it is I kind of share it. I have a PG-13 version of me that I put out there. The R-rated version, very few people get that, and very few people want it. But as far as putting yourself out there, it's a part of how we connect with our audience and how we do those things. And so I share my background a little bit and everything. Well, that gives more credence to when I'm on the air and I'm giving breaking news or I'm giving stories or important information that they can trust me. I've built that relationship already. It's very important, especially when we were going through the pandemic. And you know how information was at that time and how so many people were struggling about what is real, what isn't. They were able to trust us. They were able to trust us because of that bond that we built early on by sharing personal stories and all that.
30 seconds left, James. When can people hear you, and what's your program like here at the show?
Well, our morning show, I kick off with the Sunrise Show. We go do that from 7 to 9 on 105.5, and then I go right across the hall from 97.5 and do 2 hours over there. We have the Rapids Report that you can catch online, our podcast, our sports show, Playmakers from 4 to 5, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, turn on the station, I'm probably on.
All right. James Mailoff, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate you, and congratulations on the 85th anniversary.
Thanks, bud. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure. James Mailoff, everybody. Pat, can you stick around for maybe like 10 more minutes? Because I want to get your take on something.
Absolutely. Yeah, James is the best.
James is the best. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, stick around. Pat and Trigby and I discuss a little 3rd District politics. Don't go anywhere. We're going to come on back and discuss that. We are live in Wisconsin Rapids, the home of WFHR and WIRI on their 85th anniversary. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Won't you please take me along? I won't do anything wrong. Hey, Mr. Spaceman, won't you please take me along for a ride?
Real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMD.
Sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to do that, but I really don't want to have this conversation without a Democratic voice.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Trivia and I can talk about it from our side, but I think it's important to have someone who's, on the left. Zommers, is the background music too irritating to be listening to, or?
I don't think once the conversations get going necessarily.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think right now it's mildly annoying, but once people are talking, it is more in the background.
Yeah, they asked, and I said, I don't know. We're here for your anniversary. We're here for you guys. We're promoting you guys. So as long as it's just kind of tangential background music, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it hasn't been a problem during any segments.
All right, cool. Thank you. They're playing a lot of like 90s and early 2000s country. All the Garth Brooks and Randy stuff I used to play at RCO.
I know all
it's
of these
fantastic.
songs because, I heard them a lot when I was younger.
You could start us off with Friends in Low Places.
Right.
Cindy Madden, coordinator for Wisconsin's Outstanding Young Farmer Program, accepting applications through September 1st. The state winner will automatically advance to national competition. Wisconsin's done pretty well on the national scene. Madden estimates that 26 of our
People are
Blame it all
honking.
on my roots. I showed up in boots.
their website.
Wow, look at Trigby Olsen and Garth Brooks too. And Pat Cradle.
You know what I think we should do?
What?
How many like minor league baseball teams are there in Wisconsin?
Oh, we did a whole segment. There's something on our website about that. Yeah.
Are there a bunch?
Enough.
Let's see. There's
So
the Timber
next
Rattlers,
year,
there's the
let's
Sky
do
Clark.
Could we do a tour of the three of us to all the cities, or at least
That'd be cool.
5 of the cities, or 3 of the cities that have minor league baseball
as long as-
teams, and
long
we'll
as
go
Todd's
and we can
pa-
do the shows from there.
It's
I'll
Todd's
even get
nickel.
up and
He's-
do Pat's show,
Yeah. Todd's the one
or
renting
I'll
the bus.
just do Pat's show before going to bed.
Yeah, he'll record a spot.
Oh yeah, I'll give Pat an 8-track tape every morning to play.
There you go. Ka-chunk.
You know, it's really funny. I don't know if you ever had this experience with your kids, Pat, but like they might be too old for this. But Ula and I were out in San Francisco for the Packer game, and we went to this iconic music shop where they sell all this like classic stuff. And we're walking around, and she comes to this section where they have the 8-track tapes.
Uh-oh.
And she grabs one, and she's like, "Dad, what is this anyway?" She had
Oh,
no
no,
idea what an 8-track tape was.
Oh, no, you know who pulled that. Parker.
Who?
Parker.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Parker also yesterday had never heard of New Coke. So we...
What? Seriously?
Wow.
See?
Wow.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know what you're talking about.
He thought it was unfair that I compared it to World War II, but that might have been a little hyperbole. But I was just so shocked that he completely missed that.
I don't know anything about New Coke.
Are you serious, Summers?
I am serious.
Oh my God, this is
Oh my
hilarious.
God, this is tragic.
Hey Pat, besides Emily Berg, isn't there another Dem candidate that's announced for the 3rd?
Laura Benjamin.
Thank you. She's from Eau Claire too, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
New Coke was discontinued in 2002 in July, so I was 3.5.
Well, that was so old news
it's
by
called
then.
history.
It was
You're-
from 1984 or 85. That was when it was. That was the big thing.
85 is what it says.
Big thing is yeah.
What does Benjamin do, Pat?
I don't know.
Okay.
Dave in New Berlin says, they didn't let you in the building last time you were there either, Todd.
What?
Dave in New Berlin says, they wouldn't let you in the building last time you were there either, Todd.
That was
Give about
because of
30
Trigby and Reed. I thought they let me in this time. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location here in Wisconsin Rapids, the home of WFHR, which is celebrating their 85th anniversary this year. They're having a big street parking lot party. Stop on by if you're in the Rapids area at WFHR, WIRI. We're all out here. There's food trucks, there's vendors, there's local community people. It's really a true party, so stop on by and please say hello. You will find all kinds of friends here with you on the show today, including our very own friends that join us every Wednesday. Pat Kreitlow, host of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow from 6 until 9, who joins us from his Lake Wissota studios doing extra time, and we appreciate that. And also Trygve Olsen, a River Falls boy who now is out in Washington, D.C., a senior advisor at the Lincoln Project. Guys, really fun to be here. And again, besides the community, lots of important politics. And I know most people, when you think of the 3rd Congressional District in Wisconsin, they say, well, it runs along the Mississippi River. And that's true, but some years ago, it was redrawn, use the word gerrymandered, and I think a lot of people forget this.
Because
and when the original lines, pardon?
Because of me.
Partly because of Pat Kreitlow. They didn't want him to be elected, quite frankly, and to Congress. And so they have this tail that goes out from western Wisconsin, and it picks up Rapids, and it picks up Stevens Point. And part of that was, quite frankly, to keep Pat Kreitlow out of Congress, but the other part was to protect Ron Kind, who was the incumbent Democratic U.S. Congressman in the 3rd District, and it also protected, at the time, our Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House in the 1st, and Tammy Baldwin, who was a congressperson at the time in the 2nd, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of why you have this weird tail, I call it, that comes out into central Wisconsin. Nonetheless, guys, we're here in Wisconsin Rapids, part of the 3rd Congressional District. And I wanted to have, thanks for sticking around, Pat, because I think it's really important not just to have two former Republicans' takes, but a Democratic take on this as well. Incumbent Congressperson Derek Van Orden, the Republican, who is in his 2nd term here, is an interesting guy, to understate it. Has had lots of problems. The 3 of us have talked about this on our show. On the Democratic side, last time around, you had a really tough primary between Katrina Shanklin, that represented this part of the 3rd District in the State Assembly, and Rebecca Cook, a political newcomer. She calls herself a waitress, a server from the Eau Claire area, and grew up on a farm. Cook won that, even though kind of the main folks like Mark Pocan and a lot of the Madison Democratic Party people were with Shanklin. And now Cook is back and trying to, in politics we call it clearing the table. And the National Democratic Party has endorsed Cook already. And my question to you, let's start with Pat, then we'll go to Trygve. And I've given Ron Johnson, Republican U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, a lot of grief because he said, hey, we don't want a primary on the Republican side for governor. We should just have this over with now. But, Pat, on the Democratic side, look, there's Emily Berg, the president of the Eau Claire City Council, and Laura Benjamin, also from Eau Claire, announced candidates for the 3rd Congressional District. Shouldn't Democrats also be willing to have primaries and let the voters decide instead of the party?
The short answer is yes, at least there will be a primary here. The Republicans, the primary is a primary in name only. There is only one primary now, and its name is Donald Trump. And whoever Donald Trump says he wants as the Republican candidate for governor is going to win that primary. Full stop, period, end of sentence. So, for the primary is a sham. The other candidates who don't get Trump's endorsement will move forward. They'll try their hardest not to upset Donald Trump, and it won't matter one bit. Whereas in the 3rd Congressional District and in other races, Democrats will compete in primaries. And specifically to the 3rd District, I would direct folks to come listen to my show tomorrow morning at 6:30, because I'm going to replay part of yesterday's interview with Dan Schaefer from the recombobulation area. We had him on at 8:30 yesterday, so sometimes we'll play something back at 6:30 a day or two later for people that might have missed it. And I asked Dan all about the fact that here's Becca Cook positioning herself as the moderate. She literally filmed a commercial with herself standing in the middle of the road, which is smart politics overall for the 3rd District. But in a primary where you've got people on the left just chomping at the bit for a candidate who's, shall we say, more aggressive, that was very frustrating to them. And yet, who is Bernie Sanders coming to Wisconsin this weekend to campaign for, but for Becca Cook? And you'll hear me laugh at poor Dan. He used the word interesting many times because there's no other way to put it. That Bernie Sanders coming here on Becca Cook's behalf when there's two other candidates that want to run to her left for Emily Berge and Laura Benjamin. That's interesting.
Trygve Olsen, you grew up in the 3rd. You've run congressional races in the 3rd district. What do you make of the Democratic Party in D.C. anointing Rebecca Cook a year out from the election? And what about bringing Bernie Sanders to Viroqua, Wisconsin, and southwest Wisconsin between Madison and La Crosse, where we did this show with Reed Galen and you last year?
So what I would say it depends on what hat you have on, right? Like if you have the national hat on and you're sitting at the can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
I turned my mic off because I got stuff behind me.
There's a block party going on there, you know?
I know. If you have the hat on, you're sitting at the DCCC, you want to try and get these things settled as fast as possible because it helps with national fundraising. And that's critical because that race against Van Orton is going to be really expensive. So I get why they did that if you're sitting with that on. If you're sitting in the 3rd Congressional District, you're probably not happy about that because it really puts up obstacles, which is kind of the point from a national strategist standpoint, puts up obstacles for anybody to challenge her. So now, as far as Bernie Sanders coming in, if I were Derek Van Orton as campaign manager, I would be pleased as punch that that's happening. I would hang that around her head. And I just wonder if Bernie Sanders really is going to raise enough resources in Viroqua to offset the tactical ramifications long term of her palling around with Bernie Sanders. And I will tell you, I've told this story before. My buddies in River Falls, did not vote. They voted for Ron Johnson, a lot of them, rather than Mandela Barnes, in large part because he was palling around with Bernie Sanders. And it just said to them, not one of us. They also all voted for Tony Evers for governor. So there's that.
So what about this, Pat, from Pat Kreitlow? You were a former state senator on the Democratic side. You ran for Congress in this area as a Democrat. I mean, what's your take on bringing Bernie in? Because to Trygve's, I mean, I grew up, my family farm is 20 miles from Viroqua. I lost a primary for state assembly on the Republican side because I was too moderate in Viroqua. I mean, and it's... What's your take on that?
I was going to say, just say it's interesting because it is. It's very interesting.
I think it's a mistake.
You can, and like Trygve said, you can totally see why that might be the case. But let's put our strategist hat on here. Becca Cook's hesitancy with the voters who are hesitant to vote for Becca Cook right now in the 3rd Congressional District are people who believe that she's too much of a blue dog, that she's too moderate, that she will not fight for them. So she's bringing in Bernie Sanders, figuring, well, he's going to vouch for me that while I'm moderate, and that's what the 3rd District votes for, this guy's still showing that I'm going to stand with you when the going gets tough. And you just want to make sure that it happens very early in the campaign, like it is right now, so that by a year from now, the Bernie Sanders visit will be, old news.
Let me ask you each this question.
I would do it a different way, Pat. The way you do it is you have Bernie Sanders and her do something outside of the 3rd Congressional District that you can get on tape and send to those people. But I just think, and some of this gets into the difference between how Republican strategists and Democrat strategists look at it. I mean, I come out of the Mitch McConnell school where you would just be like, you know what, where are they going to go? What you lose in potential with the voters who are really going to decide it, those who vote for Evers and Ron Johnson or Tammy Baldwin and Donald Trump, and a lot of them are in the 3rd Congressional District, quite frankly.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. It just isn't worth it.
let me ask you this question. A quick answer, if I can. I want your opinions. Start with Pat, then Trigby. Let's break this down into a state Senate district. All right, take the 3rd Congressional District, every state Senate district. Who, in your opinion, Pat, is the most influential, most powerful elected official in each state Senate district?
Tony Evers, Mark Pocan. But you're talking in terms of, locally in each one of those?
I'm talking about local voters in each state Senate district.
Yeah.
And who do you think the most powerful politician is in each one of those? I'm not talking about names. I'm just talking about position.
Oh no, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I follow you because
right.
it comes with familiarity. Because in the Eau Claire part of the district, you've got Jeff Smith. In the La Crosse part of the district, you have Brad Paff. In the central Wisconsin part of the district, it was Katrina Shanklin. Before that,
I'm not trying to play gotcha. I just want to ask Trigby quick. What would your answer be to that, Trigby?
In Wisconsin, 10 probably Tim Walz. In 32.
All right, I'm going to do it John McLaughlin style. You're both wrong. The correct answer is the local sheriff. In each county, the most powerful position is the local sheriff. They're the most respected. They usually get the most votes. They're the most powerful. And you know who has most of the local sheriff's endorsement in the 3rd Congressional District? Derek Van Orden. And if Democrats or Rebecca Cook and the eventual Democratic nominee want to actually beat Derek Van Orden, they better get on law enforcement's side and start courting local sheriffs and getting these endorsements. Look, Derek Van Orden, it was in the news. He helped save a kid's life in a major accident in Iowa. And you know what? I'm thankful he was there. I'm thankful he had the training, and I'm thankful that he saved that kid's life. But it's just going to go to help his image of, hey, here's a guy who helps people. And I don't think that just calling them names and he and Pocan having a Twitter war, that ain't going to work. And trying to bring Bernie Sanders in, that ain't going to hunt in Viroqua and Vernon County. That's my opinion.
Well, I will disagree with you. I don't think the sheriff's what the sheriff thinks in your local area is as relevant, especially with Democratic voters. I think that Derek Van Orden's Good Samaritan that he and about 10 other people did, I think that's laudable, but that too is going to be old news by then. Really, Derek Van Orden just needs to have his feet held to the fire, and Becca Cook and the others are looking for ways to do that because Donald Trump's name is not going to be on the ballot next year, and Republicans have not done well when Donald Trump's name is not on the ballot.
But Pat, you remember Ron Brown that represented Trempealeau County in that area? He got elected, or he got endorsed by local sheriffs. He was a Democratic.
He was the fire chief. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's for nothing, but he won. He narrowly won a race there, and he served with distinction. But that's not what today's Republicans are. Ron Brown would not be welcome in today's Republican Party.
100% agree. 100% agree. Trigby?
Here's how I think you got to handle it if you're Cooks with the
got 1 minute.
Van Orton and
no, you don't.
And
you got 10 seconds.
Save that kid's life. All right,
sorry,
well,
we're
never
wrapping.
mind. You got a problem? Todd's got a plane to catch.
All right, Pat. I won't keep you.
Get to.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for your extra time.
Welcome.
Thanks for your opinion every morning from 6 until 9. Pat Kreitlow. Come on back. Trigby and I talk about slavery and Trump as well. Don't go anywhere. The Todd Allbaugh Show. Now I'm all discombobulated.
Yes, you are.
It was 30
God,
seconds.
Pat is here.
Gotta get cue cards here.
I was just about to
We
start
need to get
fading in the
Mr.
music, and then Pat said
Recombobulation
that.
to help Todd out.
Oh, that's funny.
I really appreciate that, Pat, because I think I think that's an important discussion to have.
And I was going to say, keep this in mind for next week or sometime, because we're going to need to have that. We need to have this discussion more. Maybe it'll be a review of what Bernie says this weekend.
Yeah, I like that. I like that
All
a
right.
lot, actually.
All right, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
See you, Pat.
All right, bye.
She told me to give this to you, and then I'm up next.
All right. Can you hold on until after 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
Of course.
All right,
I
thanks.
can wait until you're ready, man.
No,
It's your show, not
we're right
mine.
in the middle of we're doing politics right now.
No problem. I just
I'm
didn't
trying
know
to get
when
you
the right
guys out
time
of
was.
partisan politics part of it.
Fair
So,
enough. Thank you.
yeah.
It's much safer.
So come up. We'll have you first thing after 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock?
3:06.
You bet.
All right. Thank you. All right, Trigby. I think that's a really good discussion to have.
It was.
Put together a quartet for us. And I'll control for
What should we
Do you-
go with for music?
I don't know. You got 1 minute, 30 seconds.
You got a minute to think about it.
I'm radioactive by the call.
By who?
The call. I'm radioactive. Oh, how about rock and roll by Led Zeppelin? We've never done any Led Zeppelin. Or won't get fooled again by the Who.
Don't
That's
get
what we
it.
got to do.
Right there.
Don't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll grab that.
What's this thing? Is I can make it by 4 p.m. Rain Man.
I have
Not
no
sure.
idea. Just ignore that.
All right.
We're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the WRA and the Wisconsin Athletic Association.
If you love animals and want to help in Dane County, shop, donate, or volunteer at one of Dane County Humane Society's thrift stores. They sell gently used and new clothes, home goods, toys, furniture,
30
and
seconds.
more.
Thank you.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location in Wisconsin Rapids, the home of WFHR and WIRI on their 85th anniversary. Many congratulations to them. More on their great stations and Wisconsin Rapids in hour two. We're going to talk to more of their great staff. Right now, we're joined by Trygve Olsen, Senior Advisor to the Lincoln Project. He picked out the song choice. I love that song, Trygve. Don't Get Fooled Again. Great moniker maybe for 3rd District congressional voters in the state, but also one of CBS's all-time best shows, in my opinion, the theme song to that CSI Miami. You ever see that show?
No, I never watched CSI Miami. I didn't watch any of the CSI
All right,
shows.
fine.
I don't watch that much television.
I
You
know,
know
you're
what
a
I
busy
watch
guy.
on television, Todd?
What?
Only one thing I watch really on television. Well, two
Packers.
things. Packers and
Packers
hockey.
and we don't watch the
Ice
Brewers.
hockey.
What?
ice hockey.
Oh, ice hockey. All right. Well, yeah. Ice hockey, exactly. Many thanks to Pat Kreitlow for sticking around because I love his voice on this. I love his opinions. I love his takes. And Trygve, I think this is really healthy to have these honest discussions on the 3rd Congressional District on both the Republican and Democratic side. And I thank Pat for doing that. And it should be noted that we reached out to Rebecca Cook's campaign directly to have her on today. We invited her to come on the show, and we have yet to hear back. And Trygve, I just don't think this is healthy. To my knowledge, Rebecca Cook never came on one civic media show her entire campaign last time around, and so far is playing the same thing. I'm not saying this show is a make or break type of thing, but you would think a network that covers basically the majority of her district, she would want to come and have a discussion on. I mean, my goodness, Josh Schoman, Republican candidate for governor, came on this show, and he was great. And Pat and I didn't bite him.
I don't understand it either, but whatever. It makes her a little bit like my Badger Boy State buddy, Scott Walker. Scott, if you're listening, which I know you have your lackeys listening, anytime.
Anytime. We love to have the former governor. Come on. All right, Trygve, I want to take a turn here. By the way, are you sticking around a little bit for a second hour or no? You got to go today.
Well, if we're going to play this or that, I'm definitely
course.
sticking around
What's
for that.
worse?
But then
Yes.
I have an important task I have to take care of. Kaya is making dinner tonight, so
Oh,
I have
very
to
nice.
take her
All
to
right.
the store.
Let's start this discussion, and we'll finish it up in the first part of hour 2. President Donald Trump went on his true social media yesterday, and he went after the Smithsonian Institute museums, which I have been to a number of times. I'm sure you have taken your daughters to, living in the outer parts of D.C., and he said he wanted to unwoke them, and specifically said, all they talk about are these these depressing things, like slavery, and never talk about our successes. I found it particularly offensive. For the record, slavery is bad, period, and full stop. And I just think there's a larger context here that people need to think about historically. And before I use words that are going to throw people off the wires, I would like to have you give us, and we got about 3 minutes here before the break, start us out with a little historical context, your work in Eastern Europe against authoritarian governments. This is really dangerous when leaders start trying to change history in museums, is it not, Trigby?
Well, it isn't just history in museums. I mean, the thing you got to understand about people with autocratic personality disorder, and it was true not just in Eastern Europe, it's true all over the world where I work, quite frankly. They all want to rewrite history because they want to put themselves at the center of everything, and they want to rewrite history to a narrative that puts them in the best possible light. Putin's done this, Chavez did it, Hitler did it, Mussolini did it. Like every autocrat goes about doing it, and they want uncomfortable truths to never be spoken about. And well, I just think that's what he is trying to achieve with this. Is it's again anything that's uncomfortable for Donald Trump, he wants to make people afraid to talk about, and that starts by going after academic institutions, museums, culture, media. I mean, the playbook is the same everywhere. So it doesn't really surprise me. I do think most Americans, probably those who pay attention to what he's saying, if they actually spend some time thinking about it, rather than just reacting out of habit, are going to be like, what is he talking about? Of course, slavery was not a great moment, but here's the thing. All these people who love to cite we the people forget what comes after it in order to form a more perfect union. People on the left do it. Now people on the right have started to do that. And, that's the reality. Is a democracy that doesn't understand, or an America that doesn't understand, that what the founders put together in Philadelphia is an idea in the form of a nation. And that idea and idealism is ever evolving. It's to be more perfect. And we still are evolving from slavery to get to that point.
I think that's such an important point, and as someone who's gone through many, I won't say all, but many of the Smithsonian museums, they make you think. They unlock something. Oh, wow, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know this sequence. And it puts in context current events. And it makes us think about the future. I don't know too many museums who are say, hey, here's what the future is going to hold. It's to know our history so that we can hopefully learn from it, to your point, Trevi, to make us grow and learn. And I think that's one of the keys to American exceptionalism. It's not that we're better than anybody else, but we've always been willing to look at our past and to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, and to try and better ourselves in terms of what we're trying to.
Yeah, I think it's really dangerous what Trump is doing, because the fact is, Adolf Hitler did the same thing in Germany before World War II, which was to change history to make the German race look like the superior race, and we all know what happened there. So I think this is a very, very dangerous place for America to go under the Trump administration. Come on back, more in Hour 2. Trigby Olson, more politics and a What's Worse for today. Don't go anywhere. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show live from Wisconsin Rapids. All right, very good.
Home for real news and great conversation. A civic media station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle
What did Kreitlow say?
Hansen. Texas House lawmakers
He said go with Led Zeppelin because it's
Oh,
Robert
very
Plant's birthday.
GOP 5 new
Very
House
good.
seats. That led to Democrats breaking quorum earlier this month until they returned. Now California is considering redrawing maps to counter Texas. ABC News political director Avery Harper.
Lawmakers here discussing the ballot language that could go on a ballot in November should they formally call for a special election to vote on redistricting in that state. What's different about Texas than California is that California voters are going to have to decide whether to allow.
David New Berlin asks, Todd, did you eat that whole steer already?
Whole steer? No, not yet. Not yet. We have not delved into it yet. All right, Laura Berg is going to join us here at the top of the show, folks, from WFHR for a minute, and then we'll do what's worse.
This or that.
We got 6 minutes, yeah. But you're welcome to chill with us.
As Wisconsin's summer weekends being spent on the lake.
Sun's coming out, guys. Look at that.
Civic Media Radio
And it's going to get
Network.
roasty real fast.
Yeah.
I can feel it coming.
I moved out here because I wanted to get the sign in the shot.
It's a good sign.
It is a good sign. All right, adjust the camera a little bit
Go
here.
back to school, lawmakers will head back to D.C., where they'll take up education funding. Madison schools were facing a funding gap. They were promised about $3 million from the federal government. Federal officials then reneged, leaving district leaders scrambling, and now the tide has turned again. MMSD is set to get that money. It's set to go toward after-school programs
There you
and
go. Absolutely.
services for
How am I on, sir?
All right, Zommers, here's Laura. You want to give us a couple of sentences, Laura, por favor?
Hi, Aaron. How are you? It's lovely to speak to you. Get away from me, Bee.
There are hornets. There are hornets.
Sorry about that one.
That's all right. I tried
Didn't
to
mean
you-
to screech at you, Aaron.
All right, once you got the mic set,
Am I set?
Yeah, I think it's good.
I'm not touching it anymore.
All right.
All right.
that should be good.
And this is Trigby Olson, who was here last year with us on
Hi,
our tour.
Trigby.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Can you not?
He's okay.
Fucking. Why me? I will try not to swear at that, Bee, but
It'll be fine. We'll just
Need to get
chill.
a Coke, a new Coke maybe, and open it up for the
I know,
bee.
right? Yeah, that's what
wasp
we
to
need.
go.
open a soda and leave it
hiding.
over there. Hang on, there's a sucker. Let me abandon it. There. Leave me alone.
Maybe it'll work.
The worst
Wow, you
part
guys
is
have matching shirts.
I'm pretty sure it's honeybee, so like I don't want to mess it up, but I might.
We'll just let it chill, right?
Be cool.
He's okay.
Be cool.
Be cool.
Cool. Listen, friend, I'll give you directions to my house. We've got chamomile and lavender growing.
Ooh.
Just leave here. Just cross the bridge.
Lead the game after an RBI single in the seventh, ball hitting him in the right knee off a foul tip while he was at bat. Manager Pat Murphy.
Joey had an x-ray that's negative. It's off his knee. He's got a contusion, bone bruise. That bone bruise is pretty painful, so we'll manage that if we can.
Cubs manager Craig Counsell. Back-to-back wins
This
over
guy.
the Brewers in just one
Can
day,
you
getting
not?
contributions from just about everyone.
We need the
Why
roster to
are you
win.
like
We need the whole roster to win. You know, a bunch of guys today. It felt
think
like
so?
a lot of guys did something
I don't
today,
know.
and that's why you walk away with 2 wins.
NFL, the Packers have today off before their joint practice session with the Seahawks tomorrow morning at 10:30. Sports on Mike Clemens. As Wisconsin is summer
Trigby.
weekends being spent on the lake.
Yeah.
Can you put a call in or a text to our friend that we want to go with us on the next tour? I've not heard back anything yet.
Yep.
Thank you. I just because if I don't get answers for my people, then it ain't gonna happen. Oh, I'm very excited. My Hall of Fame beef has shipped from Joe Thomas.
That's great.
I bought 2 steaks and 4 burgers. 100% Wagyu.
Is it all sold out already? Do you know?
I don't know. You can check.
I'll have to look.
I bought it on the first day it was available. So. Oh yeah, Jim. Thank you very much for that reminder. I appreciate that. We'll Zommers, make sure I get to that. It's a National Radio Day today.
Isn't it?
It's George Webb Hamburger Giveaway Day today.
All right.
We'll be on in about 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. We are live on location in Wisconsin Rapids, the home of WFHR and WIRI on their 85th anniversary. Our producer and engineer, Mr. Aaron Zomer, is back at the world headquarters in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. And joining us via StreamYard from our nation's capital, or just outside, Mr. Trygve Olsen, the senior advisor on the Lincoln Project. It is Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025, and it's a great day to be a Wisconsinite, and it is
Hump Day.
That's right. We packed up the camel, put him in the back of the old Dodge Ram, and we made it here safe and sound and happy to be on location. We're going to get to what's worse here in a moment, Trygve, but we are being joined by another one of the great staff members here at WFHR, Laura Berg, who is voice talent, producer, co-host of a couple of different shows, is at the table here with us. Laura, welcome.
Yes, hi, hello.
How the
Happy
heck
to
are
be
you?
here. I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good. I've been here since 7.
Wow. That's incredible. Congratulations on your 85th anniversary. Very, very excited. Not yours, but the station's.
No, I personally have not been here for 85 years, but it is really, really cool to be able to celebrate 85 years at the station that I'm working at. It's really kind of neat.
Tell folks a little bit about yourself, Laura, where you grew up, what led you into radio, and here at WFHR.
Well, I grew up in Necedah, Wisconsin, about an hour from here. I grew up in such a rural town that we only really got a couple of radio stations, and despite that, I still fell in love with radio and went to school for it right out of college. And then I got a little distracted getting married and having kids, and, a few decades later, here we are. Hi.
It's great to
have
you
been here for a year and a half. I'm the head of production at the talk radio side at WFHR. I'm one of the regular voices on air on WIRI. I have my own shows that I produce and voice myself, one on FHR, one on IRI. And yeah.
Give us the lowdown, a minute each if you could. I have two different shows, Burn Before Listening, love the title, and Red, Folk, and Blue.
Well, Burn Before Listening is on Sundays at 9 p.m. on WFHR, and it is basically a millennial music show. I cover music from 2000 to 2009. This past Sunday and this coming Sunday, it's a country music playlist. I just went ahead and made a two-parter because there's a lot of millennial country music out there that's worth covering. And then Red, Folk, and Blue is an Americana show that I do Saturday nights at 7 on WIRI. I focus on bluegrass, folk music, blues, a little bit of soul. If it's American-ish, I'm playing it.
Trygve, I know you were here last year with our friend Reed Galen, the president of the union. And, I think with Laura, we hear these stories, Trygve, as you and I travel around Wisconsin on what makes Wisconsin great tours. I mean, here's somebody, Laura, who grew up not that far away in Nakusa. It's hometown people committing to where they grew up to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%, right? And that's what's great about small communities like that. It's the continuation of generational understanding and knowledge and knowing people and knowing their families and I mean that's what makes Wisconsin great. One of the things.
No, I so agree. And Trigby and I, Laura, like I said, we've been all over the state and lucky to have that opportunity.
Yep.
But your story is unique to you in this place, but it's not necessarily, there are different Lauras in every community where they're like, hey, I want to give back. And I don't want to go away to Milwaukee or Madison or whatever. And, I grew up in Richland Center. I went back to Richland Center. I still am fortunate enough to get to go back once in a while. What does this part of the state, Coosa Rapids, the central part of the state, as you talk to people right now around the state of Wisconsin that aren't from here, what do you think people miss about Coosa and Rapids and this part of the state? What are they not understanding?
The thing about central Wisconsin is it's just about the land here. People aren't caught up in a lot of things. They're here because they love what it looks like here. They like being within a 10-minute distance from the nearest state park. They like being within walking distance of the Wisconsin River so they can go fishing. I grew up, like I said, in Necedah. I was right by the Necedah Wildlife Refuge, which is a huge deal. It's where the whooping cranes come back every summer. People in central Wisconsin love the nature of Wisconsin. They love Wisconsin.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And the other thing that captures me, we talked about at the top of the show, is that you've got folks here, community service organizations. You got the VFW next to an ecumenical table of pastors who have rainbow shirts on that says everybody is accepted. You have a Mexican food truck back here, which are the tacos were fantastic, by the way.
I had a
one.
torta, highly recommend.
Right?
Great stuff.
But I think this, to me, as someone who also grew up in a smaller town, Rapids bigger than Richland Center by about 5,000 people or so, but I think that there's this misnomer that we can't have diversity in small towns, we can't all get along. But what brings us together, agree or disagree, Laura, what you said, the outdoors, conservation, the land.
I'm going to echo what Mel said this morning on Mornings with Pat Kreitlow. She said we have a lot more in common than we have that's different. And in central Wisconsin, we learn that every day because, I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but it's already diverse here.
Right.
We don't have this taco truck by coincidence. These people are from town.
Right.
They're at all of the events, and they're just as much a part of this community as everybody else, and they make excellent tacos.
Great taco, yeah, absolutely.
You realize that what really matters is that your neighbors are okay and you're okay, no matter what your neighbor is. And if you reach out that hand and get to know them, the whole town's going to be better for it. The whole community's going to be better for it.
Well, you nailed it, I think. Understanding our friends and neighbors, and Trig, we've talked about that so many times. You got to take time to listen to people that might be a little different than you, but you can find commonalities, Trig, if we just listen to one another.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? Most people want to do the right thing, and I just think, most people don't go about their daily lives consumed with what kind of hat they wear. Most people in Wisconsin wear green and gold, not red or blue hats.
Right. Packer fans through and through. Laura, anything we haven't asked you yet? You want to make sure people know either about you, the show, FHR?
Oh, gosh, probably not. Also, my brain is dead today, so.
You've been here a long time.
Yep.
And if people are listening to us on FHR or any of our other stations and want to make the trip over, you're here until 6 o'clock tonight.
We are here until 6 o'clock tonight, and I also would just like to say thank you for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for stopping by. Thank you for what you do, Laura. You're a part of what makes Wisconsin great and part of what makes civic media great. So thank you so much.
So are you, Todd.
Oh, too nice. Laura Berg, everybody, one of our great voice talent producers and co-hosts here at WFHR and WIRI here in central Wisconsin. Thanks, Laura. We appreciate that. It is now 14 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
The choice is yours. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you can get with this.
Time once again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize, but Evolved is your chance to have your voice heard on all 10 news, talk, and sports stations across the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location here in Wisconsin Rapids for their 85th anniversary. Trigby Olson joining us from the nation's capital. All right, Trigby, the category today as we got on the road, as people say, didn't Tommy used to say there are two kinds of seasons in Wisconsin, winter and road construction. So today's category is what's worse, road construction or potholes? Road construction or potholes? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. You can also text us on the Civic Media app. What's worse, road construction or potholes? Also, Terry Barr, the one, the only, the Emmy Award-winning Terry Barr, co-host of Max Inc. Radio every Saturday night from 6 until, I believe, 9 now, or 6 until 10 on WMDX. Also available on the Civic Media app. Terry weighs in, says 85 years of local radio. Congratulations to WFHR. Of course, you can hear Terry Barr's Slice of Wisconsin stories on WFHR across the Civic Media Radio Network as well. All right, what's worse, road construction or potholes? Trigby, do you want to go first?
I'd like to hear from some listeners.
He wants to
I already
weigh in.
know my answer.
Okay, very good.
And I'm just happy Terry Barr is still listening to us after I had her on. You know, I had her on for a whole hour when I co-hosted.
I heard that. And you guys were magical
Oh my
together.
God, she's a rock star.
She is a rock star. She knows her
she's so
music
good.
too. She knows her
oh
rock
my
music.
God. Aaron, did we have a good conversation about music?
Yeah, it was great.
I want to go on her show and talk music sometime.
All right.
Yeah,
She
in
would
fact,
welcome you, yeah.
it was such a great thing because not only did we get talking about like big bands, but then she knows so much about the Wisconsin music scene.
Oh yeah,
Which,
no.
yeah,
And
incredible.
she'd be hard pressed to find someone more connected to the local Wisconsin music scene than Terry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she knows it so well. Yeah, really cool. Anyway,
What's worse,
back to potholes and road construction.
Road construction or potholes, what's worse? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Let's go to Mark in Prairie du Sac. Mark is on the phone. Mark, road construction or potholes, what's worse?
Well, first I'll say potholes, and that's really not the reason I called it. This is that I wanted to. You guys are all rock stars, and that. But as Trigby was pointing out, I mean that it is just shocking to me the absolute failure that Donald Trump's education apparently was when it comes to the Constitution, because the preamble of the Constitution lays out that it's we the people in order to form a more perfect union. And it's different from the Confederate Constitution preamble, which is each state in its own sovereign nation. Actually, the actual Union of the United States is actually stronger because we recognize it's we the people forming a union rather than the southern states were supplying a permanent government. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is just shocking that Donald Trump does not seem to grasp the whole Constitution. His admiration of dictators is telling, and
Right.
that.
Well, and thanks for the call, Mark. I really appreciate it. I'm kind of up against the clock right now, but yeah, I mean, we know that he had a copy of Mein Kampf on his bedstand. So when you're reading that at night, I mean, it's no wonder that he wants to talk less about slavery in the Smithsonian and American museums. And as Trivia and I said in the first hour, totally disagree with that. I think it's a dangerous road. Back to matters at hand. So Mark is in for potholes is worse. What's worse, road construction or potholes? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Brett, listening in Brown Deer, Wisconsin on AUK, says potholes are worse. I like it when they are fixing the roads and I can slow down and prepare for construction. Potholes can really mess up your car. Well, that's certainly true, right? It could be.
Well, hold on. I have a counterpoint on that. Construction can really mess up you getting to where you need to go by the time you need to get there.
Well, that's true too, right? that can slow you down.
I'm not tipping my hand though.
Are you going to give your answer after the break?
No, I'm still waiting for listeners to give me some.
Well, we only have 35 seconds.
So you want to stay?
Potholes are worse because road construction is about fixing the potholes. So I don't even understand this question again.
Says the grumpy old man, get off my lawn. All right, thank you, Trigby. We appreciate you as always, my friend. Wish you were here. Hope to get on the road soon with you.
All right, see you, Todd.
All right, that's Trigby Olson.
I texted the person you wanted me to text.
God love you.
Because that's
He's a
what
great
I am,
guy.
your executive assistant.
That's so not true. All right, come on back.
right.
What's more, what's worse? Live from Wisconsin Rapids.
He's using me for my Rolodex.
If people only knew. If people only knew. That's basically reversed.
Yeah, all right, I got to go take my kid to the grocery store. 'Cause
All right,
I don't want to
thank
make
you.
dinner, and when she offers, you got to take her up.
Yeah,
on
I've
it.
got to go.
Well,
All
yeah,
right,
have
Toddy.
fun.
We'll
Thank
see
you. Bye-bye.
All right, see you, Zommers. Bye.
Adios.
Oh, that was funny.
Also, Terry Barr said she heard that and says thank you.
Oh, that's nice. After the 3:30 break, so 3:35, yeah.
She might be interested in
Sure,
coming out
yeah,
to
come
your
on, yeah, that'd be great.
so-
Awesome. 3:35 would be great. Thank you.
I like Tom in New Berlin's text.
Let me check it out here. Sorry, my phone went not dead, but it went dark. Which one did you say?
He says Scott holes are worse.
Oh, that's funny.
Tyler in Columbia County also has a good point.
All right, we'll get to these here. We get back. I'm trying to.
I gave away my inheritance in the 20s and spent the next few decades studying inequality in America. We're more unequal today than we have been in our country's history. Why? Well, a lot of it has to do with the federal tax code. Did you know if you make $100,000 working and a billionaire makes $100,000 selling stock, you will pay $9,000 more in taxes than the billionaire because of the tax code. Did you know that if you own a modest house in Michigan Center, the billionaire owns 2 yachts,
Right, about 30 seconds.
All right.
8 racehorses, and $900 million?
Also, you have a comment from your favorite youngest niece.
Okay, very good.
I think that's a bunch of baloney.
On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
A little Willie Nelson for you. We are indeed on the road again, coming at you, the Todd Allbaugh Show, live from Wisconsin Rapids today on the 85th anniversary of WFHR, our great news talk stations up here in Wisconsin Rapids, as well as WIRI, the great country station here as well. So thankful to have the host here to let us do the show. Big parking lot party going on until 6 o'clock tonight. If you're in the area listening to us on FHR, or if you want to take a little drive this afternoon, come on in here to Wisconsin Rapids, and you can get a great street taco behind us. You can get an elephant ear, a funnel cake. You can throw an axe. There's brats and hamburgers. Also, the VFW people are here. We got a family center, tables for the aging or senior citizens. All kinds of great community things to learn, fun to be had here at the parking lot party for the 85th anniversary of WFHR. 23 now past the hour of 3 o'clock. Todd here on location in Rapids, and Zommer is back at the world headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. Many thanks to Trigby Olson for sticking around for hour 2. We're doing a little what's worse for you today. Road construction or potholes. Road construction or potholes. What's worse? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. My youngest niece, my favorite youngest niece, Isabel, watching, and this is very big, Zommers, because, she doesn't watch me on the regular. She doesn't tune in on the regular. By the way, I was on the way up here. I had to pull over for gas, and I pulled over next to an Arby's. And this was a sign for my youngest niece. The sign said, quote, "Low key, our cordon bleu slaps." I thought that was pretty good. Low key, our cordon bleu slaps. All right, Isabel says, "I think construction is worse because it slows down traffic. Potholes are kind of fun to dodge. I like playing Mario Kart." Well, don't tell that.
Playing Mario Kart. Yeah.
It's like playing Mario Kart. Don't tell that to Grandma Linda. She will not approve of that. All right, Isabel? I would say no. My sister, her mother thinks potholes are worse because they can surprise you. Usually, there are signs for construction. Keyword, usually.
That's also the point of Tyler in Columbia County, who listening on WMBX, who texted him, "If we add the word surprise in front of both, surprise potholes are worse than surprise road construction because one of them is going to cause damage to my car."
Well, that's true, too. All right, what's worse, road construction or potholes? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Jim, listening in beautiful Brookfield, says you can avoid potholes, but not road construction. So road construction is worse. Plus, I've hit fresh tar through road construction. It splashed on my car. I've had that, too. That's terrible. That's not fun at all. Sean, one of our great drivers and friends in Richland Center, listening on WRCE, says potholes are terrible, but the construction can ruin my route. Construction is worse. Well, yeah, if you're trying to make deliveries and got a clock, you don't want construction. Roger in Stevens Point, not too far away from where we're at here in beautiful Wisconsin Rapids. Roger in Point says potholes are worse. Never know when you're going to hit one. He says, "I tuned into 97.5 FM here in Point, but a 50-year-old plus listener of WFHR." Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that, Roger, for your longtime listenership of WFHR, where we are at today. Len in Madison, listening on WMDX, says potholes are worse than road construction. Potholes won't go away without road construction. Road construction will go away when the job is completed. Do we do Tom in New Berlin saying Scott holes are worse, meaning Scott Walker? That's pretty good. David New Berlin.
Now we're caught up.
All right, now we're caught up. All right, so what's worse, road construction or potholes, Aaron Zommers?
I think I am going to have to go with road construction because both of them are a fact of life in Wisconsin because, water gets into the roads and then it freezes and it cracks. And that's just going to happen every year. It sucks, but that's how it works. Potholes, unless the road is just a series of potholes, you can usually drive around. Road construction, as some people have said, usually takes a long time and you can't drive around it without changing your route significantly. And so unless it's well signed ahead of time and you have time to plan and know when you need to leave early for stuff, I think road construction is worse.
All right. I'm going to say opposite, actually. I'm going to say potholes are worse because oftentimes I don't see them in time, and then you get that thunk where it knocks the filling out of my teeth, and it can mess up the alignment of your car. And yeah, I'm not a fan of road construction, but you deal with it. It's just one of the things you deal with in Wisconsin where potholes, it could just, you can blow out a tire or misalign the car or truck or whatever. So I would rather see the construction work being done. That's my answer.
It does need to be done. However, I can't help but respond in a way I imagine your niece might to you saying potholes are worse and say, "Get good." Skill issue.
Is that what they say? All right, get good.
Get good is probably fallen out of favor in favor of skill issue.
It's Gen X or Gen Z and Gen Y speak here on the Allbaugh show today. What's worse, road construction or potholes? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Also of note today, by the way, while we wait for any more responses, and many thanks to Dave in New Berlin for reminding us that today happens to be Jim in Brookfield. George Webb delivering on their free hamburger giveaway today for our listeners in Milwaukee area on WAUK says, "I just collected mine with two friends. The line was only 20 minutes long. George Webb was very organized. Well, congrats. And a reminder, other people are saying this too. If you go to George Webb for that free burger, buy something else from him to say thanks and tip generously. Going to be a tough day for those people at George Webb. We thank them for making good on their burgers. Come on back to Wisconsin Rapids. It's the Todd Allbaugh Show on location at WFHR on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Listens real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX. Connecting audiences.
There he is, Mr. Keegan Kelly.
Hey Todd, how are you?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Can you hear me all right? I had to switch out my microphone, the old one.
Ask Zom. I'm on location, so ask him.
Yeah,
because
it
I'm
sounds
not
good. We're good.
Okay.
I'll turn Todd down a little
I'm
bit.
gonna turn mine. Mute mine for a second.
Yeah, can you talk just a little bit?
Oh yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Are you able to turn up the volume at all a little bit? If not, that's okay. I can just turn Todd down and then turn all of it up.
I can speak up a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm at my limit. I realized my
That's all
microphone
good,
was
yeah.
broken 20 minutes ago, so I've been scrambling.
Well, this sounds fine, so we should be good to go.
Great.
We will make
And,
it
yeah,
work.
We're still live streaming, but we won't be back on the air for another just about 5 minutes.
Great.
Or just about 4 minutes, sorry.
So I'm sorry, I missed the first part of the show. Where are you streaming from, Todd?
Oh, no worries. We are on location. So one of our stations in Civic Media in the central part of Wisconsin, in Wisconsin Rapids, WFHR, is their 85th anniversary on the air. So they're having a big parking lot party. They got food carts, so they got community tables and vendors. So we came up here to do this show from WFHR today.
Oh, cool.
Fun fact,
And-
unless people are really bad at tagging their guests in our podcast system, you are the only person named Keegan who we've had on any of our shows.
Well, very good.
That is a fun fact.
1 second.
Surprises me a little bit. It's not like a crazy uncommon name.
Yeah, I mean, most people know it, but I've only met one other Keegan in my life, if you can believe it.
I guess so. Maybe Manitowoc, the city in Wisconsin that I'm from, has an unusually high concentration of Keegans.
Unusually high concentration of Irish, too, I'm guessing.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
All right, Keegan. Oh, cool, cool. Keegan, just FYI, I got to just do a quick hit here with Pam, one of the local people. So we'll start with her for like the first 3 minutes or so, and then we'll go to you. Does that work?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, awesome. And Keegan, what's your official title again, please? Sorry.
Writer and editor at cracked.com.
All right, writer, editor.
I bet I need to wear the headset.
Yeah, sorry. And Pam, your last name, sorry?
Hilke.
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 And you're the traffic manager?
That's right. An office manager, traffic.
She is the glue that holds it together, everybody.
Carol says hi.
Carol says hi. Very good. All right, give us a voice test there, Pam.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
All right, we should be good.
Yeah, we worked with Carol and her husband when they lived here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's great.
Yeah, they were here at the 50th anniversary.
Cool.
Yeah, she mentioned that. She said she still has her mug from the 50th.
That's great. All right, Zommers, let's put Keegan back in the waiting room just for a second and on the video, and then we'll bring him back on.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
And we've got a little over 30 seconds.
Thank you. having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location in beautiful Wisconsin Rapids in the central part of the state at the studios just outside of WFHR, WIRI. It's the 85th anniversary of WFHR. Going to talk to Keegan Kelly in just a moment from Cracked.com on Stephen Colbert being canceled. There's all kinds of television news. There's political news. We'll sort it all out with Keegan in just a minute. But first, sitting here at the table, and already Roger, watching on Facebook, says, Pam is a legend, unquote. Also, our own Carol, our traffic director back at the world headquarters in Civic Media, says hello. We have at the table Pam Hilke, who is the traffic manager here at WFHR, WIRI in Wisconsin Rapids. Pam, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on your show this afternoon.
Well, it's great to be here. You were on with us when we were up here last fall, late October. Much warmer today.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, nice, beautiful day. The sun's coming out here, and what a better day to have a party, right?
Absolutely.
I know.
For people that didn't listen last year, tell folks a little bit where you grew up and what led you to WFHR.
Well, I grew up right here in Wisconsin Rapids, lived here all my life. The way I just kind of stumbled into radio. I was not planning a radio career. I had just received a degree in accounting, 2-year degree in accounting, and a month later, here was an opening in WFHR, the little hometown radio station in Rapids, for a traffic manager.
And tell people who aren't familiar with radio, when they hear traffic, they think stoplights. Tell people what traffic means in radio land and how it's changed in your time here at FHR.
Well, traffic is managing or making sure that all the commercials that are scheduled to air on our radio stations actually do get scheduled and logged. We have official logs that we create in the afternoons for the next day and the next days and the next days, and making sure that the commercials are logged, that they're copy, which is the audio part, which is synced to certain, they're all identified by a copy number. All that is all synced together and lands on the official log for the next day, and make sure our systems play the commercials. And yes, it has changed over the years.
You and I were talking before the show, when we both started radio, everything was on paper, and now there might be some paper used, but now it's all, of course, digital and computerized.
That's for sure. Right. When I first started, it was totally different, and everything was. But
And very quickly here, what's your best memory, or what? I guess it's probably hard to choose a best one, but give us a memory of your time here at FHR in terms of what this station means to you and the community, Pam.
I think it's just being part of the community, and just the people, the listeners are what make your station successful, and just being part of that community and know that you've got listeners out there and doing things hopefully that they enjoy, putting our entertainment on, our sports, on our music. I guess that. And for me, just all the people that I've worked for, worked for and worked with over the years. That's a lot of good memories.
Well, you're certainly a part of what makes Civic great, what makes WFHR great, and we could not do our job on the on-air side without you and all the people behind the scenes, because literally you're making sure that our sponsors, our partners who are paying the money to have their ads put on the air, which pays all our salaries and keeps us on the air, you're making sure all that lines up. So thank you, Pam, for what you and all the folks in traffic do for this company. We really appreciate you. All right, thank you very much, Pam.
Okay, thank you. Nice to talk to you.
My pleasure, Pam Hilke, everybody. One of our great people here at WFHR, the 85th anniversary of this fine station. We might talk to one more person here before the end of the show in terms of FHR as well. But right now we turn our attention to the entertainment world. No better person to keep us up to speed on that. He is a writer-editor for Cracked.com, Mr. Keegan Kelly, who joins us via StreamYard. Keegan, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Todd. Thanks for having me back.
It's always a pleasure, and you've touched on one of my all-time favorite subjects in terms of late-night television. As you know, I'm a huge Letterman fan, certainly a Colbert fan as well. And, recently, Paramount Global via CBS decided to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And this came shortly after Colbert had gone after Trump and his own company, Paramount and CBS, for doing a settlement with the Trump administration over, and we don't need to get too far down the politics, but it was over a 60-minute piece in which Trump claimed that the interview with Kamala Harris on 60 Minutes was edited to misrepresent that. When it all came out, it was clear that didn't happen, but yet Paramount decided to pay $16 million to Trump's so-called presidential library, quote-unquote, because they needed the merger with Paramount and Skydance to go through Trump's FCC. And so the allegation is that this was essentially a bribe by Paramount to get Trump to do this. And not too long after this went through, Paramount said, hey, Stephen, you're done. Do I have that about right, Keegan Kelly?
You do. The timeline is a little iffy there on when exactly the FCC approved this merger. I believe that the Colbert cancellation came shortly before that. And depending on who you're talking to and who's connecting the dots, that timeline is very important. Because a lot of people speculated that the FCC was, as Colbert suggested, doing Trump's bidding and holding up this multi-billion-dollar acquisition deal by Skydance Media to acquire Paramount Global and thus everything underneath its umbrella, including CBS. But beyond that, yeah, that's basically what happened. Colbert criticized Paramount. He criticized Trump for years. Weeks later, he gets the axe, as does the entire Late Show franchise, disappointingly for Colbert fans and for Letterman fans, because that, of course, was his, where we fell in love with him. And it's a huge blow to his legacy as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Letterman spoken out of this and has not been particularly kind when it came to his former employer at CBS on, we can't say all the words on broadcast radio, but he said you can't have CBS without BS, basically. So we know where Letterman stands with this. How long did, speaking of Keegan Kelly at crack.com, how long did Colbert have left on his deal, Keegan?
So he and The Late Show are going to stick around in their time slot until May 2026. And that was a big part. Industry insiders had been speculating for a long time leading up to the cancellation that, the extension talks between him and CBS were going to play a part in this acquisition deal, that maybe in a move to appease Trump and the FCC, that they were going to end that contract. And what do you know? That's exactly what happened, just as the insiders predicted.
So the CBS claim, Paramount claimed that The Late Show, correct me if I'm wrong on the figure, was losing $40 million a year. And this had nothing to do with the merger with Skydance. It was all about that they just couldn't lose $40 million a year. What is your reporting found on that, Keegan? Is there some truth to that? Is it in the middle? What's your thoughts?
It's hard to nail down the exact number because they don't, they really have no reason to release the real numbers. But I find it hard to believe that The Late Show was losing $40 million a year, because I find it hard to believe that The Late Show was spending $40 million a year. I mean, they own the soundstage. They own all the cameras already. It's in the same place every night. I mean, that number to me is a little ludicrous, and other members of the late night community have been similarly critical. Like Jimmy Kimmel, for example, was like, "There's no way that makes no sense," because it's no secret that the late night industry has been kind of lagging behind the rest of the entertainment world, but Colbert was one of the top performers leading up to this cancellation decision, so it doesn't make sense that Colbert would be the big failure, the big loser there, when guys like Kimmel himself, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, all these people are chugging along business as usual.
Well, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, over at the old late night franchise on NBC, Seth Meyers, I mean, Universal basically said, look, we got to cut costs here, and so they got rid of his live band, right?
Yeah. And I find it hard to believe that Colbert's musical accompaniment is costing them 8 figures a year. So I don't really understand how.
Yeah,
You know,
I know that, and you follow this stuff a lot closer than I do in the industry. But I mean, I know that if you look at, say, maybe Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show, or even Kimmel, they have larger digital footprints. That was the big thing with James Corden, right? Well, when he had the Late Late Show after Colbert, he had this huge with the carpool karaoke and the crosswalk Broadway stuff. I mean, that was very Instagrammable, very TikTokish. I'm probably using all these in the wrong context, but he had a large digital footprint. Colbert, not so much.
That's true. He was definitely a more buttoned down, traditional late night host. He still is. I shouldn't talk about him in the past tense just yet. But it's definitely true that he kind of resisted that urge to play to the YouTube channel, to play to Twitter. And they didn't have the kinds of segments that the people who did succeed in this modern era of late night had. So there's certainly some truth that Colbert was maybe of a different era of late night, but going forward, CBS is pulling out of the late night game entirely. So they're not trying to modernize, they're just giving up.
Yeah, and that's what I find so very interesting because, as you know, and maybe our listeners that don't follow this stuff as much as you and I do, I mean, for a long time, I mean, CBS flirted with Pat Sajak back in the 90s. That lasted, 1 or 2 years at most? And then they had nothing. And then, Les Moonves at CBS made the big deal for Letterman because NBC passed over Letterman when Johnny Carson retired for Jay Leno. And Letterman in the historic thing they brought back the Ed Sullivan Theater that was in disrepair. They fixed it up for Letterman. They brought on Milwaukee native Tom Schneider to follow Letterman on the Late Late Show. So you're absolutely right. It was Letterman who re-energized late night at CBS. And of course, Letterman for a while was number one, then dipped down below Leno. And now, how many years has it been? I mean, it's been quite a run for Colbert at the top of late night, right?
Yeah, I think it's been 10 years now. I might not have that timeline correct. But he's been successful in that time slot, and he's been competitive on a nightly basis. And it really does, it concerns me that even a front runner like this, someone who's leading the ratings night in, night out, maybe not in late night as a whole, but in his time slot specifically, that the prevailing narrative coming out of CBS is even that's not enough. That even that is somehow burning this huge hole in their pocket, which, as we've already discussed, I don't know if that figure's reliable, but it does. Yeah. It's not good for late night that even that can't stick around.
No, I mean, I know you're a big Conan fan as well. I mean, Conan said here this week on some podcast or program, he thinks that late night as a whole will be gone within 5 years. Agree or disagree?
I disagree. Maybe late night as he knows it.
All right, very good. Hold that thought, Kate. We'll come back more with Kate and Kelly on the other side. We are talking about the demise of late night, or the late show, I should say, with Stephen Colbert. It's the Allbaugh Show, live on location. Not our demise yet. Come on back.
Is cheering on the Brew Crew.
Sorry about that, Keegan. Was up against the clock there. All right, we'll come back and get your thoughts on how long late night as a whole is going to survive, and then we can go on to Colbert's landing spot, and then anything else that you want to make sure we get in.
I think I'm looking at that list Chris sent.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that covers it for me.
1 second.
During Burlow's mega mattress sale, wake up, sleep better. Burlow.
Hey, Gordy, I gotta admit, these hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center changed my life.
Mine too, John. I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
And these aren't those old giant clunkers we saw in the old days. It's got Bluetooth, it's rechargeable, the works.
Yeah, my phone connects straight to my ears. I'm basically a cyborg now.
Hey, you just figured out texting last year, too.
Yeah, baby steps. But I did call Madison Hearing Aid Center, and you should too. 608-249-4077.
608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you.
This is Chad Spade.
All right. And let's do a sound check on Beth's mic. Go ahead, Beth.
Check.
Say your name and title so Zombers has a little bit to work with, por favor.
Beth Habhager. I am a voice talent.
All right. Sound good, Zombers? Maybe he went to the restroom. We're going to say yes. All right. I'll turn your mic off, then we'll finish up here with Keegan.
Okay.
I love all these songs you guys play. I mean, these are songs I used to play at RCO that I haven't heard for like 15 years. I love every single one of them.
Excellent. So now you choose us on the
Exactly.
chat and
Exactly.
You got what you want to hear.
Exactly.
Todd, did you say anything in the last little bit? Because I accidentally had my volume down. So if you did, I didn't hear it.
That's fine. We were just checking Beth's mic, but I think it's fine.
Sounds good.
It sounded good to me.
So are we popping back to just you at the start or just you at the end?
No, we're going to do just leave Keegan on, please. We're going to wrap up with Keegan, and then we'll leave the last 2 or 3 minutes here for Beth to wrap up with FHR.
Sounds good. We've got just about 30 seconds.
Thank you. And Zombers reminds it's 59 straight up, right? Welcome back to the Allbaugh Show, live on location in Wisconsin Rapids, the home of WFHR, WIRI. It's the 85th anniversary coming up on WFHR. We've been here on location. The block party, the parking lot party, goes until 6 o'clock tonight. So if you're in the Rapids area or you want to get in the car, the truck, whatever it is, the SUV, the UVV, the horse, whatever you want to do, come here to Rapids to the studios. We'll be in the parking lot until 6 o'clock. Great food, great community activities and tables. Learn about all kinds of different community events here. And stop by and meet the staff of WFHR and have some great sweet treats as well. Right now we're talking to Keegan Kelly, writer-editor at Crack.com on The Late Show cancellation, and Stephen Colbert. Keegan, I asked you right before the break there, Conan O'Brien has said he's predicting, the former host of Late Night and also The Tonight Show, he thinks within 5 years or so there won't be any late night programming on network television or maybe even any television at all. You said you disagreed. Why?
I disagree for a few reasons. First of all, despite the financial problems that shows like The Late Show have been having in recent years, and maybe their struggle to adapt to the digital age, they provide a value to not just their channel, but their parent company that doesn't show up on the balance sheet. And that is 4 or 5 times a week, they get 2 or 3 big stars from movies, TV shows, whatever it is, and they get to promote their movie, their TV show, tell a little anecdote, and provide this very valuable marketing. Now, all of these channels at this point, they're owned by Disney, they're owned by Paramount, whatever it is. Those companies still need that cross-brand synergy. They still need to be able to get the word out about their movies, about all of these non-late night projects. So even if they do lose money, at the end of the day, there's value there for these giant companies that can frankly afford to lose a couple million for some extra marketing. And another reason why I don't think late night as a whole is going to disappear, which is a little darker, is that while critics of Trump, like Colbert and maybe even Kimmel, if Trump gets his way, might be falling off of network television, there's another big name that's only been rising, and that is Greg Gutfeld. Fox has been a major power player in the late night comedy industry. Greg Gutfeld, as he'll remind everyone who will listen, he leads the ratings in the late night genre. What he won't say is that his show is an hour and a half before everyone else's, so he doesn't have to compete in the time slot because his viewers are already asleep when Colbert comes on the air. But Fox is actually doing very well in their foray into late night, and I don't think that's disappearing anytime soon.
All right, Keegan, give us 1 minute if you can. Where do you feel that Stephen Colbert is going to land after a late night or the late show goes off the air in the spring?
He's going to have a podcast. I promise you now, you're going to be competing with Colbert.
He's going to have a podcast and a radio show? Well, look, if I'll say right now on behalf of this company, if Colbert wants to join Civic Media, he's got a home. He's got a home.
I'd love that. I think that's perfect.
Keegan, we love having you on. Thank you so much for your time and adjusting with our on-location situation here. You can find all of Keegan's work at crack.com. Thank you very much, Keegan. We'll have you back on soon.
Thank you, Todd. Take care.
Always a pleasure. Keegan Kelly, everybody. And now turning our attention closer to home, literally next to me here at the table at WFHR. She is one of the great voice talents here. Beth Halfhager is at the table. Beth, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am absolutely great. Got about 3 minutes left here. Tell us a little bit about you and also about your experience at FHR.
I started with the company in October, and I started on WIRI as Dottie B, and I host the weekends, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. It's a show called Weekend Wake Up. And on Sundays from 10 to 11, I put together the Gospel Country Music Hour. So I try to celebrate the roots of gospel and country as they blend together. And then on the FHR side, I host a segment of the morning show on Monday mornings called The Kitchen's Open, which has been a lot of fun.
Do you actually cooking on the show? or
I don't actually cook,
Okay.
but I pick a topic and I research the topic, and then I do try to include recipes and things like that. Some of the things I do make at home and just to test it out. I was part of the sweet off that was going on today. I make some cookies.
The cookies were fantastic.
Thank you.
They were really, really. I mean, there was nothing bad there on the table, by the way.
Right.
What did you grow up around this area, or?
I am a nomad. My father is a retired pastor. So we had lived in this area just outside of town. My dad served 2 congregations that were yoked together. But that was when I was 1 year old to 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so I moved back to the area with my family about 6 years ago. I'm also a full-time pastor. And so that church brought me into the area. My husband happens to work for the company as well. It's Seth Habhager. So he's been working, and when he said that they needed some voice talent for WIRI, I said, well, we met doing theater. It's something I've wanted to try, and so I auditioned and was able to get the job and have been having a ball doing it.
I think it's what you just said is so important. Bringing people's faith community, cooking, theater. I mean, FHR to me is the quintessential community radio station because it brings folks together who might not always come together.
And we are proudly, we're locally grown radio is what we like to promote ourselves as, because we really are a part of the community. And I love what James does with the Rapids Report. He's intentional about making sure that we get our nonprofits on the air so that we can advertise what's going on in our community. At WIRI on the weekends, I'm always talking about, these are the events that are happening in our area. Go check this out. Go check this out. Here's a blood drive. Consider giving the gift of life at that. So it's great the way that we interact with our community, and the community is coming to interact with us today.
Well, Beth, I can't thank you enough for joining us. Congratulations on the 85th anniversary. You can listen to Beth and everyone here at FHR and IRI on the Civic Media app for free, by the way, or if you're in central Wisconsin, dial it up over the terrestrial radio.
That's right, terrestrial. I heard you talking about that yesterday. That was news to me. It's good to know that.
Well, thank you. You're part of what makes Wisconsin great, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Beth Halfmaker, one of the voice talents here at WFHR, the IRI. Thank you to the entire staff. Congratulations on 85 years. Many thanks to Pat Kreitlow, Trigby Olson, Melissa Kay, Pam Hilke. Who else we have? Who else? Oh, James Maloff as well. Thank you, Pam. And all of you for listening. Maggie Dawn is next. Wherever you're fighting for, wherever you believe in, keep banging your drum. Thanks to Zommers as well. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you listening on the stream. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Adios.